Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. Today's video is going to be a K-drama review, and I'm going to be reviewing Let's Fight Ghost. Let's Fight Ghost is about our main character, Bongpal. He can see ghosts. He basically exorcises them by punching them, and he does it to get money to save up to have a procedure done to remove the sight, if you want to call it that. And as he is exorcising ghosts, he meets Hyunji, who is our female lead. She is a high school girl. She was killed. She doesn't remember how, and they kind of work together to get her memories back and find out who killed her. Really bad synopsis. Anyway, I completely freaking love it when a drama grabs my attention with the first episode, and this show definitely did that. I still wasn't too sure at first, but I was definitely intrigued by the mysteries that they presented in the first episode. Plus, from the first episode, I got that the general tone was going to be a mix of kind of lightheartedness and creepiness. The ghosts themselves throughout the entire series are suitably creepy looking. I mean, not all of them. We have like the nice ghosts who look kind of normal, just a bit pale. But then we have the super creepy bad ghosts. I did like that we kind of had this distinction between the bad ghosts and the good ghosts. And I liked how it was done for both. But it 100% made me jump a few times. I'd be minding my own business and then one of the creepy ass ghosts would pop up and I just, ugh. I felt suitably tense while I was watching, mostly because of the most haunted wannabes. Speaking of the most haunted wannabes, when Bongpal met the two of them for the first time, I genuinely had a moment when I was like, holy shit, are they going to be the Ghostbusters? And I did get like most haunted / Ghostbusters vibes from them, with that whole setup where they kind of end up in charge of the exorcising business and they get the jobs and then send Bongpal out and they go with him, but they still kind of were like doing their little most haunted style video films at the same time. Props to them though, because as scared as they were, they still went. They never gave up. Bongpal, our main character. I assumed from the synopsis he was going to be a complete freaking badass because he is an exorcist. He goes after these ghosts. I could not have been more wrong. He was not even close. I mean, he did have his badass moments. He had a few fight scenes, but my god, I laughed at him so hard in the first episode. Jesus Christ. I did really feel for him. Obviously, he's grown up being able to see ghosts. He had a rough time because of it. He is very used to being alone, and that made it the other two male characters kind of latching onto him and being there for him even funnier because they kind of wanted to be his friend, but he didn't want any friends. I did enjoy his character development. He kind of goes from being this loner in the beginning who doesn't really talk to anyone to having friends and being kind of normal at the end, even though he can still see ghosts. As for our female lead, Hyunji, she is the badass I wasn't expecting. In that first episode, she is the badass taking on the ghost and he kind of just helps a little bit. I did really love that. Hyunji is a complete badass all the way throughout. She doesn't have any memories of how she died or her family, and she's trying to get them back, and I really felt for her struggle with that as she's kind of getting the odd memory here or there and trying to piece it together and trying to work out how to get her memories back, and then obviously she has to go through a lot when she does. I felt like she was a really relatable character because of all of that. You could get where she was coming from and why she was feeling what she was feeling and her feelings for Bongpal. She was a great character all the way throughout. Haesung. Now, when we first got introduced to him, I was kind of looking at him and I was like, are you the second male lead? Are we going to have a love triangle? Is that what's going to happen here? A love triangle with a ghost. It became pretty obvious pretty early on that he was a bad guy and he was super creepy. I did like that it didn't hang it out too much, letting you think he was all nice and whatever for like half the episodes and then hitting you with the creepy. The cat thing made me so uncomfortable to watch. I think it's like episode 2 or 3. If you like cats, if you have cats, just be warned. He just made me shudder so many times. I actually hated him to the extent that I stuck 2 fingers up at him. The final 2 characters I want to talk about are the comedy duo. They are literally like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy with how cowardly they are. Ilrang was okay, but it was Chun-sang that I found completely freaking hilarious. I love his actor. I've loved him in everything he's done, but his character in this was just so brilliant. He was just so extra and hilarious, and I kind of did relate to him because I'd probably be terrified too. But, you know, as terrified as he and Ilrang were at points, they did kind of push through it and they carried on following Haesung, even though they'd just seen him do a murder. As much as they were kind of like using Bong Pal to make money, they did kind of really care about him, and I loved watching the kind of relationship and friendship grow between the two of them, and Chun Sang really does kind of try and take care of Ilrang and Bong Pal. I just loved them. They were really great comic relief throughout, and they always made me laugh when they were on screen. They did their characters brilliantly. What more can I say? I actually felt like the acting was really solid. I wasn't aware that Bong Pal's actor Taekyon was from 2PM. I'm not familiar with 2PM, but I didn't know that he was an idol. Not that I have anything against idols who are acting, but he did seem like a pro, and I didn't feel he let the cast down or the show down. He did really, really well, I thought anyway, because I know some people have problems with idols who act. But not just him, I enjoyed the acting from all of the main cast. The actor who played Haesung did brilliantly with the creepy looks and the stare he did that made me shudder. The stare. Plus he did really well at emitting a very threatening demeanour between his smiley, nice guy one with the animals, Dr. Dolittle vet act. Our two main leads created really realistic and believable characters. The fight scenes were also really nicely done too. I didn't have an issue with that, although I did kind of side-eye the magical glowing sword. There was a nice amount of mystery in the first episode and they kept it up all the way throughout. I felt like there was never really a dull moment in this show. We kind of get a different ghost each episode, like Supernatural style, back when Supernatural started and before it went off in the whole like overly long demon thing. So we had the little kind of like story plot arc of that particular ghost, as well as the overall mystery of Hyunji and Bong Pal and Haesung and how they're all connected. The plot builds up really well over the course of the episodes. It is light-hearted, it does have some silly moments, but it also has some creepy moments too. Plus there are some really disturbing moments as well, like, you know, the cat thing. I can't let it go. I like how as the plot built up, Haesung's actions did too. He got creepier and creepier and he kind of went from the cat thing to straight up murder, and it kind of fit really well with how they were building up the plot and bringing more in and making him look shadier and shadier. And I liked how the overall mystery for the series was built up and woven in, along with these other little ghost stories for the individual ghosts for each episode. Plus there were clues being dropped and connections being made in relation to the whole murder mystery element we had going on. I feel like the different ghosts each episode kind of kept it fresh. It stopped there from being any kind of dull, boring or slow moments. It kind of gave you something to look forward to because it gave them a chance to explore the kind of ghost lore and have some fun with it. And I just feel like it was a really nicely done element to kind of keep you occupied when things were kind of building up with the main plot, and it gave our two main characters a chance to kind of bond and for their relationship to grow and develop. Plus there's some nice suspense thrown in as you realise the bad guy's hit list and who is next. I actually thought they were really cute, okay, and I would call the whole romance and the vibes from them cute. I liked the chemistry between them, which was quite admirable considering the massive age gap between them. But I feel like it was kind of a non-issue because the chemistry was really great and they were just, oh my god, they were just so cute. I liked how it built up kind of steadily alongside the plot, with her kind of going from bugging him and just annoying him and always being there to a partnership as they were fighting the ghosts together, to a friendship, to romance. It was really nicely done and it seemed really natural. They certainly had some really cute moments to offset the whole I'm dead and this can't work out breakup drama that comes later on in the show, which was, you know, expected, let's be real. Of course, it does make for a more interesting conflict in the relationship than the usual drama and misunderstandings that you do see, even though I had worked out at this point that it was basically a non-issue. Now we are reaching 100% spoiler territory because I'm going to talk about a couple of the issues I had with this drama, if you can call them that. I try to do these reviews fairly, so when I do notice things that make me kind of side-eye them a bit, I do note them down. The first kind of little issue I had was the whole thing with Bong Pal's dad, because I feel like they dragged it out for so long and they kept making it really obvious that he and his dad had issues and that they don't talk anymore, and Bong Pal didn't want to talk to him, and I was waiting to see the flashback that would reveal why Bong Pal behaves this way, but it never came. At all. We literally never found out why Bong Pal stopped talking to his dad. I guess you're supposed to kind of infer from what happened, but you never really see it, and they just kept alluding to it and banging on about it, making it glaringly obvious, but they never actually addressed it. So when it came to the scene with Bong Pal's dad's funeral, I was a bit like, we're still not getting the tea on this. Okay, it's not like you didn't have time. Let's be real. Honestly, this is just me nitpicking now, but a few things were quite predictable, like the bad guy Hae-sung being the one that killed Hyunji. I think we all saw that coming a mile off. And obviously I had some other theories, and when we hit episode 4 I was like, right, he killed Bong Pal's mum, and I was correct. Not to mention the fact that we reached a point in the show when I was like, right, the female lead is a ghost, which means she can't actually be dead for this to work out. And from about halfway through the show, I was watching it and I was guessing that Hyunji was in a coma. Like, in my head, the only way for this romance to work out and for this show to have a happy ending and for them to be together was for her to not actually be dead. And the only way for her to not actually be dead was for her to be in a coma. Like, there was a small chance that the show was going to have a sad ending and that she was actually dead, but the general vibe of the show was really light-hearted and funny and silly, and I could not see it having that kind of ending. So while that was like a small % chance in the back of my head, I knew it was really unlikely. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like a shock reveal and really surprising, like, oh my god, she's not dead, she's in a coma. But because, you know, from about the halfway point, I was pretty much mostly convinced that my theory was correct. I was kind of a little bit disappointed with that reveal because I was a bit like, oh yeah, well, I figured that out. Another little thing that's me nitpicking is Hyunji just didn't seem to notice or care that her little ghost friend vanished. Perhaps a bigger issue than the others, perhaps the biggest issue with this show. Perhaps I missed something or didn't fully understand and comprehend what I was watching. I just didn't get why the evil spirit that was in Hae-sung was so hell-bent on Bong Pal. I don't get it. Like, I get that he was probably pissy that his chosen body, or whatever, was taken away from him, but, you know, he got a different one instead, but he was still so hell-bent on Bong Pal, and, like, they were saying it was because of the weapon. Like, I just feel it was a bit like, you know, they made such a big deal out of this bracelet and the weapon, but, like, I really did not see why the ghost couldn't do anything to him until it had been found and destroyed, because, like, he didn't have it. He knew Bong Pal didn't have it. What was stopping him? Nothing. Overall, Let's Fight Ghost is a really fun drama. It had a creepy level to it that I wasn't expecting, but it had some really cute moments to offset that, as well as some kind of silly and hilarious moments, and the romance was really cute and kind of grew and developed quite naturally, which was nice to see. There was plenty of mystery, there was plenty to keep you entertained and to keep you interested and to keep you watching. Plus, the plot unfolded quite smoothly and had a really nice pace to it, and like I said, the different ghosts and their mysteries each episode kept you entertained and gave you something to focus on while the main plot kind of built up around it. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review for Let's Fight Ghost. Let me know down below what you thought of it if you have watched it, or recommend me a new K-drama to watch instead. I will link all of my social media down below so you can come and follow me on Twitter and see what I'm watching, and I'll see you guys next video.